Hey Fit Fam, this is Coach Rye from Team Flex. Today we're going to talk about the RGV Pro Bikini. We're going to go over our top 3 competitors, talk about the criteria, talk about the placings and why they may have landed the way they did, and what that means for you as a bikini competitor out there. No matter what level you are at, whatever you're trying to do, this is how you're going to do better on stage, is learning more about the criteria, learning more about your division, and that's what I do on this channel 24/7. So if you have any questions or anything else, comment them anytime, and make sure you subscribe to my channel because we got a lot more coming. All right, let's hang out. So here's our top 3 from the RGV Pro Bikini. We have Arena in the middle taking the win. We have Sharon over here taking 2nd place and Ellie taking 3rd. So overall, really good look right out the gate. You can tell a lot of good shape here, a lot of good proportion here, a lot of good symmetry here, which is bikini. It's all about your hourglass shape. So you want to really focus on creating the most symmetrical, the most balanced hourglass look that you can, and that's going to be a combination of muscle groups. You always want to focus on attaining the right muscular proportion and shape to do better in bikini at any level. So looking at Reina here, great shoulder development. This is very on par with criteria, where you can see there's fullness, there's roundness, there's shape, but it's not overdone, not popping out in your face, right? Deltoids that are so big that they're taking over the whole look, but also not undertrained to the point where you'd be like, that's not enough muscle. This is good shape, good proportion, good balance from the front to the lateral delt in this front pose, and it really does help create this upper bit of that hourglass that tapers into a very narrow waist for her. So a very dramatic waist taper will always give you better placings in bikini division. And from in my experience and what I've seen as a coach, that is a very key factor, and it's really echoed here in this lineup because she has a very tiny waist compared to the width of the shoulders. So very, very good look for her. Lower body wise, glutes and hamstrings and quads all need to be in very good symmetry, and you want to have a lot of good full glute shape. Your glutes really got to showcase a nice full look there, and she's really pulled that off in her front pose as well as her overall pose. So very good look for Reina here. Very strong front pose. Hard to come up with anything that is off with this. It is just all there, complete. Good line in the ab, separation from the glute, and then into the hamstrings and the quads here. These are the levels of conditioning judges want to see. So very good look. A really, really solid front pose for her, and overall, great win. Now looking over at Sharon, a lot of similarities. Good shoulder shape, very on par with criteria. A little bit wider looking in the waist, so that can be a factor, and honestly, that could just be some posing. It's something she could tweak probably to really enhance that tapered look, and again, that gives her better hourglass shape. A little bit could have helped her, but also I think, looking at Sharon, a little bit lower body dominant, right? You can see a lot of shape from the quads and the glutes and the hamstrings, and all of that coming together looks like a little bit more dominant in size. So maybe just bringing that down a tad would be favorable for her. However, again, keep in mind, we're looking at the top 3 at a pro event. We're looking at the best in the world, and this is very on par with criteria either way. Now, looking over here at Ellie, good shape overall, maybe just a tad too tight. I think she came in a little bit too lean, and that can be a factor. If you come in too lean, start to look a little bit, stringier in your physique and your muscles and everything else, and not as full of a look, so that can score you down a bit. And seeing here, she's getting a little bit almost feathering in the glutes and in the quads, and very hard oblique line. I would say really good muscle shape, maybe just needs to soften up a tad, which is something that you do need to be aware of in bikini at any level. You want to bring the right level of conditioning. It's soft lines without striations, without deep cuts, but it's also, not getting too lean. It's also not being too soft. So you really, every competitor has to play with their conditioning a bit and really learn their body and figure out what's going to look the best for them. And once you find that, it's going to be gold for you on stage. Looking from the back here now, Reina, very good. A very, very good hourglass shape here, right? Like as I draw it, you can see it. It just looks exactly like an hourglass. So perfect balance between the upper body and into the glutes. Really good upper glute pop. Overall glute fullness is right on par. That tie-in is perfectly conditioned right where it should be. A little bit of quad here, not a lot, and a lot of hamstring. This is exactly what judges want to see. So this perfect symmetrical look that matches with the upper body. I mean, that is a very, very dominant look in this lineup, and really anywhere in the bikini division, to be able to pull off the symmetry like that in the back pose. So very great physique for her. It is I mean, I'm at a loss of words to say anything negative about it because it's very on par. Now looking over here at Sharon, right? So we can see here a little bit, you know, lacking in the shoulders compared to the lower body again. So that lower body kind of looks like an over dominant look, and it did look like that from the front. So from the back now, we can kind of see that that really probably is the key. And honestly, her quads and her hamstrings almost do still overpower her glutes a bit in the back post. So better balance for her is going to, you know, key to that. A little bit more glute to match the quads and the hamstrings, or bringing down the quads and hamstrings, which is something all of you need to consider. If you have any muscle groups that are not in good symmetry, or as good of symmetry as they could be, in other words, you got to decide then, do you bring something else up or do you bring those things down? So it's really no right or wrong answer. You got to figure out what you think is going to work best for you and your physique and that look, and then bring it and see where that lines you up. Now looking over here at Ellie, what we can see here is good shape, good everything there. A little bit fuller of a look in the glutes from the back, which is good because she looked a little bit too lean from the front. However, you know, again, I think that a little bit too lean just in that front really is what kind of dictated it. And I think from this back, she could add probably just a tad more shoulders. Maybe if she wasn't as depleted, that may have filled out a little bit more. Her lower body looks a bit dominant though in this back pose, and that makes a big difference. All right, so really great lineup, a really awesome job, ladies. And you know, for those of you out there, continue to work on your hourglass shape. Bikini is all about hourglass. You need to find the best way to do that, but also note what I said a lot in this video was your hourglass shape on your physique, not the same type of look, you know, that you don't want to pick anyone out of this lineup, be like, I want to look like Sharon, I want to look like, you know, Raina, I want to look like Ellie. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is figure out how do you take the criteria, which is that hourglass shape with, you know, the right level of conditioning and everything there, and how do you apply that to your physique in the best way? And that's really what's always going to result on you doing your best on stage. All right, so if you guys have any questions about bikini division criteria, anything else, or any of our comp reviews that you want me to do, comment them down below and I'm happy to do it. And if you're new here, you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, give me that thumbs up too if you want to help the channel out. It does help me a lot. All right, thank you guys for watching. Coach Rye is out.